Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna, and today we're going to talk about the Natasha Denona Sculpt Texture and Tone Soft Edition. I got the dramatic one, loved it so much that I had to get the soft version as well. I couldn't get it out of my head. I needed it, so I got it. So we're going to talk about that today. And I'll kind of compare the two and talk a little bit about that as well, and which one I would recommend for you to get. Of course, we're going to be creating a look also. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so these palettes, they come in dramatic and soft. They're going to retail for $82. And they are called a Midi Plus. So you're getting 3 more shades than the normal Midi palettes. You're getting 18 shades. Like I said, I bought the dramatic one. I have a whole video talking about it here. And I just fell in love with the quality, of course, but the kind of layout, the concept, and the formulas within it. I thought it was just such a staple type of palette that is going to be very versatile and functional within my makeup life. It made me want to get the soft edition, which has lighter shades overall. A little bit more rosiness happening here, a little more pale type of shades. So yeah, but we still get pretty vampy and deep over here on the end. So you can still get some drama from this palette, don't worry. You know, a little more desaturated and a little less rich than the dramatic option. And this one also has more mattes than the dramatic one. So here they are together. I'm going to put soft on top of dramatic so you can see them kind of stacked. So on the bottom there is the dramatic one. So you can see a little bit of the differences there. You're going to have more metallic and foiled shades within the dramatic one. And the shades are just overall richer and a little bit deeper. And yeah, just a little bit more kind of full-bodied, if you will. Whereas with the soft one, they are just that. They are soft. I would say if you are questioning between the two palettes which one to get, if you have any concerns about the soft one showing up on your skin tone, just go ahead and go for the dramatic one, because it is a very desaturated palette. For the most part, it is going to be a little bit more geared towards the ghostly gal like myself. So if you have any concerns about this one not showing up on your skin, go ahead and just go for the dramatic. It does, of course, have more richness within. And this whole row is metallic as well, and kind of foiled and sparkly and kind of unique. Like the shade down here is very sparkly and beautiful. Blackened eggplant color. Really beautiful palette overall. But the soft one is pretty special on its own. I like the majority matte that we have happening here. If you were a fan of the I Need a Nude palettes, you're going to love this one, because it is I Need a Nude, but all the matte shades expanded. So that's really cool. You have got some gorgeous undertones in here and shades that are going to work really well for the day-to-day and kind of work with whatever outfit you want to wear or kind of undertone you're wanting to play up that day. This is a very user-friendly, everyday go-to type of palette, especially if you're somebody who doesn't like a lot of color and craziness going on, but you like to apply eyeshadow, you like a nice sculpted look. This one is going to be really nice for you, particularly if you are a little bit more on the fair side. Now, these palettes are designed to go along with her color coding system that she had for the High Glam concealers. So that's why they are set up the way they are. You have the undertones and overtones within this and levels of depth. So each row is kind of corresponds with a concealer shade. Like in this one, we have R2. That is my concealer shade, basically, and these are colors meant to complement that. She can explain it better than I can, so I'm just going to redo that really quickly. This is an 18 pan essential palette of textures and neutral shades in Natasha's iconic, user-friendly, velvety soft formulas designed to sculpt and enhance the eyes. Natasha expands her innovative eye sculpting concept with must-have palettes featuring curated textures and tones and user-friendly layouts. Inspired by her signature High Glam concealer undertone system Each shade is named and arranged by undertone and overtone, making it effortless to create endless looks from everyday to bold and dramatic, tailored to every skin tone and preference. You can definitely get drama from this palette, from the soft palette. Don't be worried about that. It has some depth in there, and the shades are very buildable. So if that was also like a concern, like, well, can it do any drama? Yes, it can. It can. So within the soft palette, you're getting a predominantly matte shades. There's 3 metallics. One is very subtle. I would almost call it more like a satin shade than a metallic. And the matte formulations are ranging between her traditional matte formula and her slip cream formula, which is Chef's Kiss. Wonderful to have. The slip cream texture blends like a dream, and it's buildable and very easy to work with, and you don't have to worry about fallout with those shades. They start out kind of slippy, creamy like, and then they go to a matte. Yeah, a lot of them actually are the cream formula in here, especially like the deeper shades, which is really nice. Like C3, W3, N3 are all cream formulas. Y3 is, and R3. So I think almost this whole row down here is the slip cream formula, which is really, really beautiful formulation. And yeah, you do have the most metallic shade is right here. It's this beautiful kind of icy color called C1. It's a light icy pearl, and it is very pretty. And then you have a metallic over here with N1, which is a metallic dark neutral brown. And the other metallic is N2, which is an incredibly subtle satin metallic. I would just call it more of a pearl, or like, yeah, satin. And that is a deep brown that is very cool, neutral undertone to it. Very pretty. And yeah, you also have a nice black shade as well, which is a cream matte intense black. And I do think that you could have both these palettes and be very happy with that. You don't have to pick one if you didn't want to. You can go for both, like I decided to do, because I loved this one so much. I was like, you know, putting them together, they look just, it's so satisfying and beautiful. All the shades with each other. And the fact that you could kind of bounce around between both palettes and create a look and really get in there and do something fun. And that these can function really well as staple palettes you can use to really set up a look and use as your structure, and then go in with something like a liquid eyeshadow, a dual chrome, or like a metallic pencil, something like that, and really amp the look up, or go in with like a colored liner or something to that effect, and these be just the basis of your makeup eye look. Genius. These I also think would be phenomenal for makeup artists building up their kit, needing some very high quality, superior quality eyeshadows that they can do makeup on everybody across the board. Having both of these would be outstanding for the kit, and that they are both very nice size. They're not huge, like they're very well constructed. These will look and fit so well into a makeup kit. And you can depot these if you want to. They do have the punch out on the back. So I think these are a very nice mix of professional and consumer makeup enthusiast level product that can work for everyone. Now I know that $82 is expensive for one alone. I did buy one from Black Friday and the other one at the Sephora sale. So there's that. And hopefully I would like to see her bundle these together, maybe with a little bit of a discount. I think that could be really cool, especially for makeup artists. But yeah, I think these are wonderful palettes. I really like the quality. I think they are superior in performance. And I have played with both of them now and think that they are just very good. So today what we're going to do is play with the soft palette, and I'm going to create a look and show you kind of how it functions and how it works and what we can do with it. Now, like I said, you can definitely go in and get some full-on drama with this one too. Don't think you can't, because you have a whole row of super deep shades, as well as some that are very buildable and dark along this row. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a fluffy brush, and we're going to get started here. I am going to start with R1. I think R1 will be pretty today. And I'm going to take this just under the brow bone. I'm going to try to use as many shades as possible, but I'm not going to go too dramatic or anything. But I will create a dramatic look with this palette, just to show you can in a future video. Alright. And this is a classic matte formulation, which are very velvety and just a joy to work with. So honestly, I can see how the functionality of having both of these and wanting to dip into both of them at the same time, to be honest with you. Is that excessive? Yes. And if you bought both of these, nearly $200. I know. It is a lot. So these to me are very much investment type pieces that are going to be very staple, reach for them frequently type of product. And they're also going to last you a long time. Like, it's, you know, an eyeshadow palette, it's not something you're going to use up in like a month, you know. It's going to last at least a couple of years. In my experience, I have made eyeshadow palettes last a very long time. So to me, they are nice investments, and I can see myself reaching into both of these a lot for just the day-to-day. I'm going to take a little bit of R2. R2 is this beautiful, soft, rosy shade right there. The R range is the undertone that I tend to go for with Natasha. With her skin complexion products, R2 is my usual shade, so this should complement my skin very well. And indeed it does. It's like the perfect kind of soft blush. And we're going to start building up that socket line just delicately with this shade. By the way, everything else on my face will be listed below. Yeah, that's very pretty. I wanted to bring in a little bit of rosiness, but we're going to keep things kind of cool and just sculpted and soft, because I think I'm going to go in with a bit of a bolder lip today. And play up the burgundy. This is our first midweek Advent service tonight. I always feel like for like Advent services, especially the evening ones, you can kind of get away with a little more because they're at night. I just feel like I want to do a little more and dress up, but then sometimes I also feel like we can get away with being really casual too sometimes. Now let's go into C2, which is this cool tone taupey shade right there. It is described as a matte light medium cool nude. Right, now we're going to take this one, and when we do is I'm going to kind of focus it a little bit deeper into the crease to really kind of sculpt that out a little more. And kind of on the outer corner a little bit. I don't know what it is about palettes like these, but they make me want to just sit here and layer and blend. Like they remind me a lot of drawing and painting, and that's a very satisfying process to me, especially doing like portrait work. I used to love to do portraits. So it's just really a satisfying process to me of doing this. I've always loved doing the valuing step. That was my favorite part when it came to doing any drawings, like pencil drawings or painting. I just loved mixing color, especially when I was painting, like doing oil paints. I loved mixing color to create shadowy undertones and stuff. Like, oh, I would have a blast with that. I miss doing fine art sometimes. And recently I have discovered embroidery, which I can like paint with thread. So that's a lot of fun. A little not quite as expensive. I love having these creative outlets. It's just so nice. Everybody needs some kind of creative outlet. Even if you're just following instructions off a piece of paper, it's still you're doing it yourself, and you're gonna have some kind of a creative spin in there because it's not gonna be exact. It's like the little embroidery kits I'm doing right now. They come with instructions, the other kits, but I can it still has my touch, you know, because it's me doing it. My imperfections. Yeah. So I'm learning about like stitches and all of that right now. I forgot to mention these do come with little inserts that can guide you on how to place the eyeshadows and explains a little bit about them and their undertones. So that is in the box with these, and there's a lot of information on Natasha's website about them as well. But I'm still building a little bit of C2, just really sculpting out the eye. And honestly, you could take a little bit, do this. And look at there, a little bit of contour. Now I'm going to build up a little bit of depth. And we're going to take C3 for that, and that's going to go on the outer corner. I'm going to take that on a laydown brush where I have a little more control. And C3 is a slip cream. And it's described as cream matte medium cool brown. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, and we're going to just tuck that right here on the outer corner. And I'm just going to let that diffuse up and out in the outer V area. Yeah, these, I think, for the makeup artist who's wanting to upgrade their kit, this is really a wonderful little system to use. You know, say you're a little bit later in the career, you're ready to kind of amp things up a little, bring in some more higher end product. This is a great way to do that. Alright, now I'm going to go back to my previous little shade. Yeah, this is very easy to work with. Alright, and I want to bring a little bit more of the rosiness in, so we're going to take our 3, which is a cream matte vintage rose, and it is also a slip cream. I'm just going to take a little bit on my fluffy brush and just do that right there. And now I've cleaned off my little lay down brush. We're going to take some of C1, which is that icy pearl. We're going to put that on the lid, kind of inner to mid part. This would also be a nice companion palette though for I Need a Nude, because I think about the way that I use I Need a Nude, I'd use a lot of the mattes in there and like getting kind of low on a couple of them. So this would be a nice companion to that, because it can kind of allow me to get more use out of that palette, if that makes sense. And like I said, I think this is just a really cool system that she did here. And something I would have expected like MAC to do. Let's do a little bit of Into, which is that kind of softly metallic, dark, neutral, to me a little cool brown. We're going to use that as our liner today. I'm going to swatch it for you so you can see what I mean by like how subtle the sheen is. Like, it is a very subtle metallic. Like, I wouldn't have called it that personally. I would have called it just like a satin or something. We're just going to take a little bit of that on a liner brush and keep that right at the roots of the lash. Just add a little depth right there. And while I know these are pricey, I am working on a dupe video that's going to at least dupe the vibe a little bit. I don't know how well I can dupe formulations, because these are very unique formulas that Natasha has. Like, her shadows are an experience, but I think color stories I might can get pretty close. So that will be coming, don't worry. And I'm actually going to keep my lower lash line blank today because my eyes have been a little on the irritated side and watery, and I don't want to deal with watery eyes. So we're gonna keep the lash line, the lower lash line blank and bare, but that kind of leans into the softness. But you can see definitely that there is the capability of going dramatic. Like if I just kept building with these deeper shades, we 100% could get pretty dramatic here. I'm going to throw on some mascara and a lip and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I threw on a little lip and some mascara. Mascara is Maybelline Bubble Mascara. And the lip is Milani Keep It Full Plumping Lip Liner in Fire Sign, topped with Revlon Super Lustrous in Raisin Rage. So that is our makeup today. And on the cheeks is Postmodern from Merit, in case you're wondering about the blush. But yeah, okay, so thoughts. Do I think these are necessary palettes that you have to have? No, of course not. Of course not. But if you're looking to upgrade your makeup collection or your makeup kit and wanting to upgrade your neutrals and your go-to staple colors, these are wonderful for that. Yeah, they're a great investment type of palettes that, yeah, the quality is hands down there. They're beautiful. And I think they're really nice staple.
The Word of the Lord Endures Forever is brought to you in part by the Lutheran Heritage Foundation.
Really nice staple products that you could use with so many different other palettes you might have in your collection. Say you burn through your mattes in your I Need a Nude or I Need a Warm or whatever else. This can sub in. Are you somebody who likes to wear duochromes but needs something to pair those duochromes with, or find them hard to use because you don't know how to ground them? These are great for just setting up the look for whatever fun thing you want to throw in, or if you're just somebody who really just likes neutrals. They got you covered. And as I said, if you are questioning or slightly worried that the soft palette isn't going to show up well on your skin tone, just go ahead and get the dramatic one, because this one will show up a lot better. And even on my fair skin, I'm able to make this one work because I enjoy a smokier, richer look for the most part. So this works well for me also. But if you're somebody who is a little bit deeper than me, you're worried that the soft palette isn't going to quite cut it on you, just go for the dramatic. This is very similar to kind of Sydney Grace's palettes, where she has the ones that can come in multiple tones to work for different skin tones. This is kind of reminds me of that, a little reminiscent there, but there's no overlap between these two palettes. If you think like half this palette's gonna be wasted on you because you're maybe a little too deep for it, or you don't feel like it's gonna show up on your skin tone, just don't worry about this one. Go ahead and get the dramatic one if you're looking at one of these. Yeah, it would be cool if she sold these like individual too, like the shades that you could build your own. That would be kind of fun. But the size and everything is wonderful. They are weighty in a good way, in a very, very sturdy way. These don't feel like, it doesn't feel like your shadows are going to break in these. Like you could throw these in your kit and they would hold up the travel and whatever else you might want them to survive as a makeup artist. I think these would hold up really well, and they're not going to take up a ton of room. Like compared to like the I Need a Nude palette, quite the size difference. So yeah, and you've got more shades. But if you were a fan of I Need a Nude that looks like this, the soft palette, you're gonna enjoy. All right, so that is all for today. Let me know your thoughts and what do you think of these palettes. Do you see a use for them in your makeup collection? Myself, I am a bit of an enthusiast. Obviously, I enjoy doing makeup, and like I said, these feel like painting with like a palette to me. Like I feel like I'm actually painting, and it's a very enjoyable process to me and really nice kind of outlet. So to me, they make sense for me to have. Will they make sense for everybody? No, but that's okay. Let me know what you think of them down below though. And would you like to see if she come out with a smaller curated versions. Like if she did one that was just these individual rows or something. Like she did maybe like a 5-pan take on them. Would you like to see that? I think that would be really awesome. She does have one already that was kind of the basis of that, and it's just a very kind of neutral color story. It's very basic. So this was kind of a building on that little palette. But I'd like to see like individual more palettes like that in that size, in her smaller size, of just like the undertones. I think that would be really cool to see. Anyway, that way you could get just the undertone that you need for your skin tone and not have to buy the whole palette if you didn't want it. I think that would be a really fun thing that perhaps she'll do in the future. I kind of hope she does. I could see it being a thing. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. May the peace of the Lord be with you always. Bye now.